Hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650E here. I'm at Sills BMW for the very first episode of my new bike build series. And as you can see, I'm very excited about it. I'm ready to get this thing going. I've been coming to Sills BMW for over 7 years now. I purchased my first 2010 BMW S1000 here back in March of 2010. My second one, I purchased that, the 2012 S1000. And then I purchased my third bike from Sills BMW, which was the HP4 back in, I think that was March 2013. And today, I'm happy to announce I am purchasing my fourth S1000RR from Sills BMW, and it's going to be this amazing 2017 model. But this bike, unlike my other bikes, it's not for me. This bike is going to be for you, my awesome Patreon supporters. I want to thank you very much for supporting this series and being a part of what's going to be an amazing build series. This is going to be just the very first bike that I do for the build series. And then hopefully we'll be able to do more bikes as well. So we're just moments away from removing these awesome brand new Race Tech RR Metzler tires from the S1000RR and replacing them with the outstanding Bridgestone S21 tires supplied to us by our good friends at Bridgestone Moto USA. Thank you very much for that. But what we're going to do with those tires is we're going to offer them as a gift to one of our Patreon supporters, and you do not have to be in the United States to get some of these gifts. Unfortunately, this bike can only be given away to a person that lives in the 48 continental United States. This motorcycle was designed to be used in the United States. It has emission stuff and all that kind of cool stuff which make it not suitable for us to give it to a person outside of the U.S. Here's our good buddy Zach, who's going to be helping me out with this build series and working on the bikes. Zach, I've known you for about 7 years now.
Wow, it's been that long.
Exactly.
Like just yesterday.
Yeah. What's your experience with BMW, with mechanics and all that stuff?
So I've been working on BMW motorcycles since 2000, so about 17 years. I've done all their factory training that they've offered so far, going back this fall here for a new class that they came out with.
Nice.
That's supposed to help with diagnostics. So
sweet. Is that class in Florida again?
No, it's actually in New Jersey.
Okay, cool.
Going over to New Jersey in November.
All right.
But yeah, we pushed a couple bikes out to show why the S1000 is pretty special for BMW.
Okay.
For in case you don't know anything about this motorcycle.
How could you not? But for those that don't?
Yeah, in case, you know.
All right.
So we brought out the standard, what you think of when you hear BMW and motorcycles. The R1200 GS. The all-purpose adventure bike.
Okay.
So first, just to note some differences, let's look at the front end on this bike. If you step back a little and you see, it actually has an A-arm like your car has for suspension, and it has a strut like your car has, a spring and a shock all in one.
Okay.
And these two big tubes, and it does have radial mounted calipers, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But then if we come over to the S1000, it does not have that. It has your conventional upside down fork, also with the radial mounted calipers, but gives you a lot more feedback. The GS, that front end's great for its purpose because you don't want as much feedback. You can ride longer and you don't get as tired, where this, you want feedback, so you know what's happening in your front wheel.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Obviously the engine is a difference. Got the old boxer style engine with the cylinders sticking out.
Yeah, Nate Kern rides these bikes very well. He's known to drag that cylinder on the track.
Always something that can happen with that engine setup. Where when we look at the S1000, it's the conventional sport bike engine setup of an inline 4-cylinder, not much sticking out, nice and compacted inside the twin spar aluminum frame, where we have a trellis steel frame over there.
Sure.
Okay. And then as we get to the back, we have one more major difference, which was a huge departure for BMW. I didn't think they'd ever do it. We have this shaft right here.
I knew you were going to say that.
Which houses a drive shaft in it, and then you have a rear drive unit, which is also like your car, which has a set of gears in there. And finally, and that steals about 30% of your power, actually.
Wow.
So as we step over to the more conventional chain and sprocket drive, like everyone else has always used, which steals more like 10% of your power and is way lighter.
Can you explain to our audience why the chains on new bikes look white like this?
This is straight from the factory, and they use like a waxy grease on it. And as you can see just from pushing it, I think this bike might have 5 miles on it, not even. It's sprayed all over the place. So we're going to clean that off.
Absolutely.
For sure, before we take it back out, if we don't wind up changing it.
Yeah, we just might do that. That all depends on you and the support that we get from this series. But yeah, we're going to do cool stuff like that, like change the chain and sprockets and do all sorts of cool things. The goal is to make this bike very similar to a bike that I would ride. You know that my bikes, they're pretty much modded out. So hopefully we'll be able to put a lot of extra mods onto this bike too. But our first mod for the day is going to be the tires. So I guess we're going to wheel this over to the shop area and rip these awesome brand new Metzler Sport Race Tech RR tires off and replace them with some amazing Bridgestone S21 tires that were given to us by one of our cool sponsors, Bridgestone Moto USA. And in case you're wondering, we're not going to throw these brand new tires away. We're going to offer them as a prize to one of our Patreon supporters. And you don't have to live in the US of A to get prizes numbers 2 through 5. All right, so we've got the bike on the lift. Now Zach is grabbing the tools that we're going to need to take the tire off. And then I think I'm going to do my first set of wrenching work by following his instructions and taking the tire off.
All right, let's see what you got here, Eve.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm guessing we're going to remove this big bolt?
Yes, we're going to. That's actually a nut.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take that off. That is the right size socket for you. It's a 34 millimeter.
Okay.
And then that ratchet's nice enough to say off and on the side. Should be in the off position.
Yes, it's in the off position.
Okay, and then go ahead and loosen her up.
Which, do I still go left for loose?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't on too tight. Now, why was that?
It's 100 newton meters is the torque spec, which in the scheme of things and something that big really is not that tight.
Gotcha.
That's why it's important to use a torque wrench when you put them back together so you don't crush your bearings inside the wheel.
Nice. So now this is...
Once it gets to where it's easy, yeah, you can go ahead and take it off, spin it by hand.
Okay. Super cool. Do you wear gloves when you do this? Like,
I don't.
Okay.
If I were to change the chain, I would,
Okay.
because I don't know. I just like I have better feel without the gloves on. Go ahead and remove that spacer too.
Okay, right here?
Yep. You can just kind of wiggle it. It's got a little tension on it, but not too much.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Set that down. Now we're going to go over to the other side of the bike.
Believe it or not, I feel like I accomplished something there.
Okay. So now this part's...
going to pop out
Oh, yeah, but we got to do one thing that's a little tricky first.
Okay.
And this is mainly on S1000. So they run the brake line through this little plastic piece here, which is why I had this guy out.
Nice.
So if you can go ahead and this piece folds out so you can get that brake line out.
Okay.
Well, not in that crease there. It's actually underneath. You kind of have to like wiggle the line. See how it's starting to come out there? Maybe grab the line on both sides.
Okay.
Put the plastic part back on.
Right here. Here you go.
Usually we just switch it off.
Yeah.
If you just get your hand on both sides, we got to kind of lift up here and see how it comes
yeah,
out.
I see that now.
It's just going to give us enough room to move the caliper.
See, that would have taken me an hour to do, and it took you 2 seconds. Okay, cool.
Okay. Now we can get back to removing the wheel here.
Okay,
so now you might want to bump the axle from the other side with your hand because the whole axle is going to slide this way.
Gotcha.
And then kind of support the wheel right here with your other hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you normally use like a hammer or something to do that, or metal?
If it's a bike that I know I've taken care of, no, I'll just use my hand because I know it's nice and greased.
Okay.
If it's something I don't, yeah, I would use a dead blow hammer on that.
Okay.
So now you're going to want to support the wheel because when you pull this out, it's going to want to drop.
Gotcha.
It's not going to drop far enough to hit the caliper because we don't want to scratch these beautiful
No, we don't.
forged wheels.
No.
So go ahead. It'll be easy to grab here. Just support the wheel and slide it out. Drop it down.
This is the first time I've taken a tire off a damn bike. Wow.
Okay, sweating yet?
Yeah, I am actually. All right.
So now we wheel it over to the machine here.
Okay.
You can pop it right up on the base.
What side up do you like it?
Well, we're just going to let the air out first, so you can just keep it standing up. Keep it standing up, actually. Find your valve stem.
I see it. Angled valve stems. That's pretty awesome. It comes with that.
It is.
Is that part of the HP wheel package, or?
Yeah, that is only on the HP wheel package. The other ones are rubber. They're nice because there's a rubber seal in here. You don't have to replace them, so that makes tire changes easier. And there is a rubber gasket inside this piece that supposedly helps keep air in at high speeds.
Very cool.
Or so I've heard. Okay, so now we're going to grab this tool, which is a valve core remover tool.
Okay.
And you go ahead and stick it in there, and it's going to catch two flats, and you'll let all the, and you'll unscrew it. Turn it. There you go. Now unscrew. And watch out, because it's going to have some pressure. It's going to want to come flying out on you once you get all the threads out.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and take it out. Okay. Well, this is how you let the air out of the tire completely. We don't want to sit there with a key all day letting the air out.
No.
So now, just so that we don't damage this great wheel, I think I'm going to take over.
Please do. Thank you.
Up next, we break the bead of the tire. This arm is going to come in. We need to make sure the arm doesn't hit the wheel.
Now this is extremely important because a lot of folks will complain that a shop damaged their wheels for whatever reason. So how do you ensure that you don't do that?
Well, I'm going to take my time at this spot of it and make sure that this arm is only going to hit the rubber. It's not going to, it can't come in and contact the wheel. And I'm not going to slam it all the way to the other side.
Yeah. Now, will you damage that wheel at all? Does this machine damage it when it's doing that?
I mean, if you had this arm where it would hit the wheel, yes, it would definitely scratch it, and put a mark on it. And I like to break it down all the way around, and it just makes it easier to take the tire off. Now you got to do the other side too.
Oh wow! That machine's not hurting the physical tire either, is it?
No.
Okay.
We're just pushing the tire off the bead right now.
Gotcha.
Get clamped up here. Some machines do have plastic feet, but I don't know. This is the machine we have, what we work with, so we just use rags, and we've had very good success with the rags.
Yeah, you've never damaged my wheels over the years on any of my bikes.
So make sure that it's going to come in and clamp the wheel. Locks the wheel in. We want to make sure the wheel is nice and locked.
Okay.
This is key for us not scratching it with this machine. We have this nice big plastic foot here.
Sure.
As opposed to a metal one that we used to have. You have to keep up out of the way. This can touch the wheel all day long. Doesn't damage it, so that is a big advantage. And I like to lubricate the tire so it comes off easier.
What's in that, water?
No, we actually use a product from Napa. It's Rubber Glide, it's called.
Okay.
It dries up, it doesn't leave a residue. So now another good trick is make sure your tire is down in the wheel all the way around, and then this will work real easy for you.
That looks like it could be really dangerous if you don't do that right.
Yeah, if you were to let go, you could send the rod flying. And then you pick the tire up into what's called the dropout of the wheel also. We'll show you that in just a second. Because when it's in the dropout, again, see how simple that was? No fighting. We didn't rip a bead. So this tire is going to be good because if we don't want to rip the bead with this, we don't want to put too much pressure on it when you take it off. Otherwise, we won't be able to reuse this tire. So now we're going to grab the new Bridgestone S21.
Brand new. Yep.
Brand new. Sticker still on it.
255/17. Now the S1000 uses a 200 tire now instead of a 190.
That is with the HP wheel.
Gotcha.
Package.
Gotcha. Cool.
And you can go in if you switch back to the regular wheels and tell it that you're running a 190 or 200 tire now, which is nice, so it doesn't screw up the traction control.
Awesome.
Like it used to. Now we're going to balance this tire. We use a static type balancer. There's a couple different kinds out there that I know of. There is a bubble balancer where you rest the tire on like a level bubble piece sideways and it balances it somehow. I don't know how to use it.
Sure. Okay.
We use a static style, and then there's a dynamic style, which is how they balance your car tires with a motorized machine and lasers that tell you, which that's great as long as the machine's calibrated correctly. This we don't have to worry about too much calibration.
Yeah.
As long as gravity's still working.
And we wouldn't be on Earth if gravity wasn't working, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we should be calibrated then. So I like to start, just use the valve stem as a reference.
Okay.
We start with it up top, set it, leave it sit. As you can see, this tire is actually fairly balanced. It's not moving at all.
Yeah.
But to make sure that it's as balanced as possible, and how we get the best results I've found is to keep clocking it around in about 6 positions. Again, this is good. That's balanced. We'll bring it down to there.
Wow.
Still no tug, so it looks like we may not need any weight on this wheel.
Well, that'll be awesome. So that's less thing a person has to do to track prep their bike is tape their wheel weights.
Exactly. There would be nothing to tape. Yeah, we're not getting any motion out of this tire from anywhere, so
wow.
I can't see it needing any weight. So
No.
that could be in part because we lined up the dot. It's just how it all worked out. Sometimes it works that way. Most times it doesn't. It takes weight.
Do you see different tires require less weights for balancing?
Yeah, definitely the cheaper tires require a lot more weight
Okay.
for balancing than any of your 4 or 5 big premium brands. They're all
Wow.
about equal, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So now we're ready to put it back on the bike.
We meaning you, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just took it off. It took me 30 minutes, whereas it normally takes you what? Seriously, how long does it take you to take a tire off of an S1000?
Maybe 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Wow. And you're not covered with sweat when you're done either.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Unless, for some reason, that axle was very rusty. Then
Okay.
I'd be in the same boat as you.
So you're putting the sprocket back on.
Yep. Line this guy back up. Of course, it's covered in that nice sticky chain lube we talked about.
Mm-hmm. The stuff that just got all over my hands
Yes, yes.
required me to wash them for 5 minutes.
Isn't that just wonderful?
Yeah.
And then we're going to need a rag. And we're going to, even though it's new and it still has stuff from the factory, we'll still clean all our parts off. It makes a big difference when you change your tires.
Mm-hmm.
If you or the tech or whoever cleans your wheel spacer, cleans your axle, gets all that old grease and grime out,
Yeah.
puts fresh stuff on, you can feel it just when you're pushing the bike around how much less resistance there is.
Wow. And that's something you do for all the bikes
Yeah,
that you
I do
serve?
it. Yeah, I do it.
Nice.
That I service. We got to get this other wheel spacer here. If this was dirty grease, I would also clean out the grease from inside the seal. But as you can see, it's nice, fresh grease because it's brand new.
Yep.
And then we'll just put some fresh waterproof grease on there. Slide that back in. I'll have this guy ready to go. Not too much, just a light coating.
Okay.
You're not really lubricating it so it can spin. It's just so that it comes back apart, really.
Gotcha. And so you don't have the issues that I have. Maybe the issue was they didn't have a lot of that grease on it, which is why I couldn't
They
get
really
it out.
didn't have that much grease on the factory. Usually there's this crazy anti-seize stuff in
Yeah.
there.
See, that's why it
kinda
took me
lucked
7
out.
minutes.
You actually can do that job.
Yeah.
Alright, so ready to make sure that's on there nice and tight.
How do you, stupid question, but how do you make sure you're putting the tire on the right way?
Well, the front, that would be a good question. The back's easy enough because we have the chain sprocket
yeah.
to tell us. But the front, sometimes you have to look at the tire direction and make sure
Okay.
that your tire's spinning the right way. I believe I brought the screwdriver off like I did. We're just going to spread open these brake pads a little bit. It makes it easier to get the rotor inside there.
Okay.
It should take just a gentle push.
Yeah.
They're open. And then we have to carefully get this caliper back inside the wheel here.
Without touching
And there's
the
a
wheel.
lug on the swing arm that's very important that catches inside the lug
Okay.
so that this caliper can't move all around when you hit the brakes.
Yeah.
We just slide it a little bit.
Gosh, I'm so glad you're doing this and not me.
Yeah, this gets a little. You need like 6 hands and it would be easier, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get the chain back started on the sprocket. And then once the chain's back on the sprocket, we'll line up our caliper and the wheel so that we can get an axle in there. You saw how it fought you on the way off.
Yes.
It'll do the same thing if you don't get it just straight enough. So So I'm thinking you just had the wheel dropped a little bit. See how it takes that to pick up and how easy it was to slide in?
I see
and
that.
That's something you just wind up getting the feel for.
You learn it over time.
After you've done it a couple times.
So are you saying the first time you ever did this, it took you 7 minutes also?
I don't know about 7 minutes.
Okay.
Everything's nice and flush.
Nice.
Reinstall this axle slider. Now we're actually from rocking it, our stand shifted. We'll set the slider. And this would be the point where you want to check your chain tension too. If you need to set or adjust your chain.
Okay.
That would be done with these adjusters. Again, new bike. When you do tighten the rear axle, the chain slack always tightens. So you want to make sure that it's right at the spec or towards the loose side of the spec. That way when you tighten it, you don't have to go back and do it again.
Gotcha.
And the way that you would check that is with the ruler. BMW actually states right here, they got a nice sticker.
Nice.
45 to 50 millimeters is what we're looking for.
Okay.
So you'll hold it, you'll pull down as hard as you can pull down. We're at about 7.5, I'd say. And we're going to creep up to about 2.5, so that puts us right at that 50, which is where we want to be on this bike.
Perfect.
They seem to like to have the chains right at 50.
Okay.
And again, that's probably going to snug up about 5 millimeters once we torque this. So we don't have to mess with that. We're just going to snug it up.
Do you ever have to mess with that when you're doing a new tire change?
Oh yeah. Especially on a bike with miles, almost every time. Unless it's a customer that's been really good about chain maintenance. So we're just going to snug it up with this wrench. And then once it's snug, I like to just spin the wheel and hit the rear brake. A, make sure that the rear brake works. B, if you do it fast, it kind of centers everything.
Sure.
Finds its spot before it's final tightening.
Yeah.
And then we're going to grab the torque wrench. Many different style torque wrenches. This one is a roll click type, I believe it's called. And that torque spec's 100 newton meters, so we set it to 100. Switcher.
Is that going to make an audible sound?
Actually, yeah, this is called a split beam torque wrench. That's what it's called. And it's going to make a click sound once we get to that 100. So you don't want to pull too hard or go too fast, and you want to keep your arm at the same way you're holding it. You don't want to switch.
Yeah.
And just do a nice fluid motion until you hear the click sound.
There you go.
And then you can even double check it. And we know that that's torqued to 100 newton meters. Nothing's getting crushed. Nothing should fall off.
Yeah.
If it does, it's not my fault.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And
so now that chain is still at 45 millimeters?
yeah, we can double check it. See if it changed at all or if it stayed the same. So we'll go about the same spot where I was, which was right at the end of that piece of plastic. Yeah, see, I can only get it down to about 7. And I can't even quite get it up to 2, so it's closer to the 40 now. See,
Nice.
so it's snugged up a good 10 millimeters just by tightening that.
Wow.
I don't know why that happens,
Okay.
but it always happens. At this point, we'd lube it, but as you can see, we have an extraordinary amount of lube on here. We're actually going to clean all that off, and we'll put a fresh. I like the Honda Molly chain lube. Doesn't seem to make a mess, but gives it enough lubrication. So
Awesome.
we'll go ahead and do that, and then switch to the front tire.
Now, did you have to do this, Zach, or could you just send this bike out to the customer?
We could just send the bike out to the customer, but as soon as he rides it, that white stuff is all over the place. It's over your pant leg, it's over the black swing arm, the wheel. So
Yeah.
before the test ride even, I usually try to clean it off.
Yeah.
Another, not to super endorse Honda products, but their chain cleaner is really good stuff for this. You spray it on, leave it sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back and all this stuff will wipe right off. It's about the only thing I found that cuts that
Wow.
grease. Another handy tool for chain maintenance.
I have that.
Grunge brush.
Yeah, you told me to get
I
that.
told you to get one of that.
Yeah.
Still want to cover up your hand because the stuff does spray everywhere, but fits right on both sides of the chain. And it's going to loosen up all that grease. Again, usually you're cleaning off years of dirt and rust and everything. This, we're just getting rid of the nice factory grease that they installed way too much of.
Yeah.
So you can already see it's starting to come off.
I see that. Do you know why they do that? Why they install so much from the factory?
They never used to. That just happened in the last couple of years. I don't know why they decided to put more. Maybe they were having trouble with them sitting around and rusting or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Let's see what we use up.
Is that more Honda product?
This is actually just a straight brake cleaner.
Okay.
And then we'll use a rag for the final clean. You want to make sure that you keep your hand out of the way of the sprocket, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Don't spin it the wrong way. That would be very bad. Keep changing spots of the rag so you're not just moving the grease around.
Yep.
The actual lubrication of the chain is inside the pin and we can't even see it.
Yes.
This is just for contact lubrication between the sprocket and the chain, so it's not really necessary to have that much at all.
Right.
The stuff on the side is nice, it keeps the chain from rusting, but if you're lubricating your chain like you're supposed to, it's never going to rust anymore.
And how often are you supposed to lube your chain? On
I believe it's every 500 miles. It's supposed to be cleaned, lubed, and make sure that it's in the correct adjustment specs.
Okay. That's
So that looks pretty good.
It looks much better than it did, man.
And now we're ready for lube. Like I said, the best one I've found to date is this chain lube with Moly, made by Honda. I'm sure other people manufacture it, but it goes on nice and clear, but when it dries, you can see that it leaves that actual coating of Moly type grease, which is a black film, fine, almost graphite type coating. So we'll spray some on the outside and some on the inside, just so that it won't rust. And then we'll let that sit just for a minute or so while we clean up, and then I'll go back with the rag, wipe off the excess. And
wow. That's pretty detailed, but I like it.
And again, I'm usually running around at a much faster rate, right? Stuff's flying.
Right.
You're probably going, oh no, I got another Bridgestone to put on.
Yeah, yep.
No, I wanted the RS10, not that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Start over. So
I do
just
that.
a light wipe then of the chain, and we at least tried to keep it. It's still going to fling up a little bit, and we'll have to give it a bath afterwards, but it's going to be way better than if we just rode it with that.
Yes.
Wipe off any excess that got on the wheel. If it were a painted wheel, I definitely would not be using this red rag, because you never know what's in these things. But
Yeah. That looks awesome, man.
alright. Pop her off the rear stand. The final bit, which I'll try not to forget, but sometimes do, is reinstall this brake hose up under this plastic piece. The cable doesn't go, just the hose. Again, that's really only the S1000 that has that.
Gotcha. So thanks to Zach for installing the rear tire. He's going to go ahead and install the front tire here off camera and get that done so that we can not take up all of his time here. And these awesome Metzler tires we will hold back here to send off to one of our supporters.
Put them on the shelf so that they're ready to go.
Yep. And we'll be sending those off to one of our supporters of the Patreon series. So if you want that, make sure you support every video so that you can get selected. He'll put the front S21 on there. And then in this box, our good buddies Brock has sent us a full exhaust system. Should we give them a little teaser? Maybe open it up? Yeah.
Open it up. It looks like there's another box there too, huh?
Oh yeah, we got to do that too. That's something special that I brought in from home.
Oh, what you bring?
Yeah.
Motorcycle parts?
No, well, kind of, sort of. Yeah, you're going to have to hold the camera and film me while I open that. So in our next video on the build series, we're going to be installing an awesome exhaust
Looks like we got a warning sticker.
onto this motorcycle. Our good friends at Brock's Performance has sent us...
Kit.
Okay.
Let's see what kind of silencer we got here. We got some piping, feels pretty light.
Wow.
CT series single mega headers.
Full titanium. How light that is.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, I wasn't going to drop it, bro.
Making sure you
Wow. Full titanium. Many thanks to Brock's Performance for this full titanium. Oh, what is that? Is that a CT mag?
Yeah.
Yeah, CT megaphone.
here.
The exact exhaust that I have on my HP4 is going onto the S1000. Wow. Beautiful CT megaphone.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Full titanium.
Quieter? Even quiet, sit down.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'll set this right here. That is fantastic. Once again, many thanks to Brock's Performance for sending us the full CT megaphone, full titanium exhaust system that's going to replace this monstrosity of an exhaust on the S1000 new bike build series. Again, if you're using this exhaust, it's for track use only. It's not intended to be used on the street, and so for that reason, I'm also going to send to the new owner of this motorcycle the stock exhaust in case they want to ride the motorcycle on the street. Just a little disclaimer that I had to mention there about the exhaust. Obviously, I use the Brock's Performance exhaust on my bikes on the streets, but hey, that is what it is. Here you go. Here's your knife.
Oh, thank you.
I thought, how cool would it be to unbox this on the first video of my new bike build series. So, let's see. Here we have here, awesome box from YouTube. They sent me a nice letter, which I'll read later on, but you've just done something that very few YouTube creators accomplish. You had an astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. The letter goes on to say some more stuff, but I'll read that later. Pretty cool. And here it is. My 100,000 subscriber YouTube play button plaque. Awesome. That I will proudly hang on my wall. 650E, congratulations for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. So thank you all, man. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my channel and sticking by me over the years. Thank you, Zach, for helping me out with this build series. I think it's going to be amazing. I'll clean it up in 1 second. Thank you, Rich, for having an awesome beard and being a cool dude. All right, so we're going to do some amazing things with this new bike build series. We just installed a rear tire. Zach's going to install the front tire a little bit later, and then we're going to have those tires available for some of our awesome subscribers. If you made it this far through the new bike build series video, congratulations. I want to reward you all for sitting through my videos and being great subscribers and great friends that you have been over the years. So what I'm going to do for some of my videos, especially for the new bike build series, the new bike build series videos will be uploaded to Patreon hours before they reach the YouTube audience. So for my Patreons to support this channel, I really want to say thank you. What we're going to do, since I can only deliver the motorcycle to people that live in the 48 continental United States, I know that I'm missing a lot of international folks. So I want to give you international folks something as well for contributing to the build series. So we're going to have prizes, or gifts, I'm going to call them, that I'm going to give to second place folks, third place, fourth, and fifth. And they're going to include $500 PayPal instant direct transfer into your PayPal account for second place winners, $250 PayPal instant transfer into your PayPal account for third place, and then we'll have something for fourth and fifth place as well, just for watching the videos, just for being a supporter of the new bike build series, for supporting the entire series. That is my way of giving back to you. Also, what I'm going to do is, for those of you that watch my videos, I'm going to embed something special into each video. For this video, you will see the term that I use whenever I defeat somebody on my top end runs, on my top end smackdowns. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I usually say something when I beat a person, and something also flashes on the screen that corresponds with what I say. You will see that embedded into this video, somewhere in the video. The first person that identifies where that was by telling me the exact timestamp that it happened will receive a $50 instant PayPal money transfer into your PayPal account. The reason why I'm doing PayPal is I want it to be instant. I don't want to have to send you something in the mail and have you wait for 2 weeks or whatever, or maybe not even receive it. So I will instantly transfer the money into your PayPal account. that wraps up our first episode of the New Bike Build series. If you like the video, hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking subscribe. New videos are always uploaded to the 650E YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more as they pack up here and get ready to go home. Stay tuned for more videos, and as always, thanks for viewing. You guys are headed home now, huh? All right, we'll catch you next time on the 2017 BMW S1000 New Bike Build series.